Hi, this is Neil Walters with neilsvideos.com. I went to a conference in California about 3 weeks ago, and I learned about this system and a website called SteemIt.com. And I'll show you some of the screens here of what SteemIt is, but basically it's a social media platform. It's a lot like WordPress or Medium. You can post blogs there. And what's unique about it is you can get paid based on people voting for your posts that you make, and even the replies. Some people just reply to other articles and posts, and they make money doing that. And what's amazing about this is it's based on a technology similar to Bitcoin. So a few years ago, there was a company called BitShares, and there's a guy named Dan Larimore, and he spun off from that and created SteemIt, and it runs on what's called the graphene blockchain. So you don't need to know all that technical stuff. But what that means is all these articles on this website site are actually stored in a blockchain on hundreds of computers around the world. And this blockchain basically creates these SteemIt coins like every day. And the people who earn the coins are the people who post on this website. So just for example, this is my account, of course, here. I'm going to click on my picture there. And by the way, first of all, just look here at this first page. This is called like your feed page, right? It's people you're following or things you're interested in. And so here's someone says how to display your SteemIt feed on a WordPress site. This guy made $732 from his post. And what that means is he had a lot of people voting for it, and they have these things called whales, which are large users, kind of like people who have a lot of steam power. And they vote you up, you can make a lot of money. A lot of posts are like this. They only make 10 or 12 cents. This one made 28 cents just for a dumb joke. But that's kind of the way it works, right? So you build up a following over time, and then your followers will vote you up, basically. And instead of mining like a normal Bitcoin would do, Steem is created by making posts, basically. And it's a very interesting infrastructure. It does take a while to wrap your head around how it works, but it's not a MLM. It's not even really technically a business or anything. It's just a way you can actually earn these Steem points and such. So I'm going to click on here. I'll do open new tab. And I'm going to click on this thing over here called wallet. So when you sign up, they're going to give you this big, long cryptographic password that you're going to have to save. You don't want to lose it. And you can see here the different Steem I've got. So I actually bought a little bit of Steem when I joined, so I would have a little bit of Steem power. But I think the Steem dollars is what I've earned since I've joined. And so I think I earned $9.66 since I've been on this thing for a couple of weeks. And that's based on the current dollar price of Steem. So let me show you another site. So this is worldcoinindex.com, and I'm looking at a coin called Steem. And I never noticed before, it actually really spiked when it first came out. So that was probably people speculating, and then it dropped back down, and it stayed down for a while. And then this year, in April, it started going back up again. And so right now, so you could actually sell your Steem for like $2.30 a token or a coin. And so the Steem is basically converted into dollars. And so what you can do is you can do something called a power down in here, where you can say, I want to power down my Steem. And what it does, I think right now it's over a 13-week period. It will take a little bit out of your account 1 week at a time over 13 weeks. They don't want you to like drain your account all at once. Okay. And let's look at some posts here. Actually, I'll show you the ones I did. So how do I find that? I go back to my picture here and look at blog. And so some of these I wrote and some of them I re-steamed. So re-steaming is like sharing someone else's post. And so I actually did a little video the other day, 2 ways to add pictures to your Steem post 3 days ago. And that one, unfortunately, I only made 11 cents. My first one was my introduction. They like you to introduce yourself when you're new to the platform. So I got $25 on that one. So let me just open that. And so basically, I included a few pictures in there about Seminole, Texas, the oil field where we grew up, and my first programming on an HP calculator in high school, and my graduation from Hebrew College when I was 53 years old. And these are the people that then commented back. And you can see here I got 24 votes. And so that turned out to be about $1 a vote, basically. Now, not all votes, again, will be worth $1, but that's the way this one worked out. And then when these people chat with you, you can reply back to them, and in some cases, see, like this lady made a 4 cents on her reply. So let me show you just how to navigate a little bit. So over here, they have obviously a home page like everybody does. And I don't know if these are just the most recent things. I'm not exactly sure. I like to go to I don't know what the difference between hot and trending is. They're still calling this a beta site, by the way. I'm not sure why, because I think it's been around over a year now. And so these are things that are trending, and trending probably means the ones that have made greater dollars. So here, see again, this post got $1,743. And the community right now, a lot of the people in it are based around like Bitcoins, cryptocurrencies, that type of thing. So if you post something they like, you're more likely to get voted up. Or if you actually do research and write like a really good article, you're going to get more votes. Now, I saw one lady on here, within her first 3 months, she has over $1 million of Steam. And I looked at how many articles she wrote. She actually writes 19, or she's posted an average of 19 posts per day. So I'm assuming that she's doing that full time, maybe a work-at-home mother or something like that. And I'm sure the posts that she writes, she actually puts a lot of thought into them, and she writes good quality posts. It's like you can't just throw up crap on here and expect to get money for it, right? You have to put good stuff that people really want to read, and then they will read it and upvote you. And I think you need to spend part of your day following other people and voting them up, and then following them, and a lot of those people will follow you back. That's kind of the way any social media works, right? You go to Twitter or something like that, you follow someone, they might follow you back, and over time you build up 1,000 or 2,000 followers, and then you can, even with Twitter, you can make money, but you don't make it the same way as you do here. In this environment, you actually make money by people voting your post, which is just totally unique. Now, I don't think they have a phone app for it yet, so I'm sure they're going to have that soon. But right now, you have to do it. I think you have to do it on a website. It's a huge infrastructure, and I haven't learned it all yet. Now, when you post an article, you can put 5 tags on it, and over here under trending, then you can see what some of the tags are, right? So, like Ethereum is a type of Bitcoin or something similar to a Bitcoin. There's nature, writing, music, health, Spanish, cryptocurrencies, travel, food, etc. So it's kind of like photography. Again, if you're into photography, you could post your pictures on here. And if people really like your photography, you're probably going to get voted up. Let's just click on that one. So see the URL says SteemIt.com trending photography. And there's somebody's birthday, and they got $2,000. My adventure on the island of Crete, $1,700. Now, I did read an article the other day. They said like the average post, may only be like 10 or 20 cents. So again, these are obviously extraordinary examples. And again, it's not really a business. I'm not even really recruiting you into this. I'm going to give you a link where you can join, and it's going to say that you're referred by me. But at this point, I get 0 by referring you. I'm just sharing this with you because I think it's good and it's cool. And if you work at it and, just even casually, you might be able to build up some money over time. And the other thing is the Steam might rise in price. So today, a post that's worth $2, if Steam goes up to $20 in the future, then that post would be worth $20. So a lot of these coins are actually going up in value over the next months and years, because that's kind of just the trend. Now you can actually spend your Steam and you can promote your own post. So here's one called the Roswell Alien Experience. And when you spend Steam to promote your own post, that Steam is actually destroyed. It goes out of the system. So each day, new Steam is being created, and then when people post or promote their post, the Steam gets destroyed. So that keeps the currency from hyperinflation and that type of thing. So by the way, Steam itself is open source, and it does run on Graphene, which is also an open source blockchain. And you can actually go read the blockchain. You can write programs to work with it. There are people who even write robots that automatically vote up certain types of posts based on different criteria. And if you want to know more about the infrastructure, you can go to steamtools.com, and you'll see here, you can actually page down, and you can see how many different projects there are that have Steam around the center of them. You can actually see here there's like 20, 30, 40 pages maybe of projects all tied to Steam. So that means this is not just like some little toy that they just thought of. This means that people are really grabbing onto this and they're doing stuff with it. So based on the Steam platform, someone created something called SteemIt Pond, and somebody created something called Piston, and somebody created Steam Verify. Steam polls, all this kind of stuff. It's just incredible. And it's somewhat gamified. They actually have badges and stuff. So these are some of the badges you can earn. And this is called SteemItBoard.com, and you put in your username. You can see I made 3 posts, 32 comments, 11 average upvotes per post, and I'm still a minnow, I think. A minnow is like a beginner, and then as you grow, you become a whale eventually. Total post rewards is 9.278 Steam power. And then average post reward is 3.093 Steam power. Here's a site called SteemItHelp.net with a lot of different tutorials. And of course, there's FAQs built into Steam. So here I just did a Google for Steam FAQ, and you can go there and you can start reading about it. So here, for instance, how does SteemIt work? Most social media sites extract value from their user base for the benefit of the shareholders alone. So in other words, when you go to Facebook or Twitter, you're helping them build their company, and they're going to make money off of you. SteemIt is different. It's a new kind of attention economy by connecting with the Steem blockchain, which is decentralized and controlled by the crowd. SteemIt users receive all the benefits and rewards for their attention. Does it cost anything to post, comment, or vote? No, it's free. So you can join SteemIt for free, you pay nothing, and when you post, you probably will earn at least something, at least a few cents. Can I earn digital tokens on SteemIt and how? I'm going to let you read that on your own. Where do the tokens come from? That's a good question. The SteemIt network continually creates digital tokens to reward content creators and curators. Some of the newly created tokens are transferred to users who add value to SteemIt by posting, commenting, and voting on other people's posts. The remainder is distributed to holders of Steem power and the witnesses that power the blockchain. So they have a unique concept. Like Bitcoin has something called miners, and miners actually use up a lot of CPU power, and then they have to use up a lot of electricity to cool down their computers. With the graphene blockchain and SteemIt, you have these witnesses, and they have a whole nother way of making sure the system is trusted. What a lot of the blockchains are about is trust between untrusted parties. And so they've developed what they call DPoS, distributed proof of stake. And instead of having miners, they have witnesses, and those witnesses run the blockchain. So where does the value come from? They said basically Steem is a point system. But it's just happened over time that the SteemIt actually has a dollar value. However, because the points system is blockchain based, the points can be traded on markets as tokens. People buy and sell these tokens, and many hold in anticipation of increasing purchase power for various Steem related services. They actually have a Steem marketplace where you can buy and sell items for Steem. And of course, Steem has value in itself, and that you can use it to promote your own post. By analogy, Steem is a game or a game system where users compete for attention and rewards by bringing content and adding value to the platform. So I'm sorry, I don't want to read this to you, but I just want to get you excited about this and kind of like it is so new and so different. I think you need to go there and try it. Again, it's free to sign up, and there'll be a link either on this video or below this video, and I encourage you to go check it out. So again, this is Neil Walters with neilsvideos.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.